Now on River Region Evening Edition. 4 people are killed and another 4 are missing after a plane crashes in Kansas. The candidates who want to represent Southern Illinois in Congress debate for the last time before Tuesday's election. We'll hear what they had to say. And in Illinois, health officials monitor a man for possible Ebola.
News from around the world, across the nation, and here in the River Region. This is the award-winning Student Newscast, coming to you live from Southern Illinois University. River Region Evening Edition begins now.
Good evening, I'm Zach Barrett.
And I'm Jacqueline Boatman. We begin tonight with breaking news. Carbondale fire crews were called to the Amtrak station just over an hour ago with a report of a smoking train car. It turned out to be the last car of Amtrak's northbound Illini train. Firefighters say a malfunctioning AC unit may have caused the problem. Passengers were delayed while crews aired out the train before it left for Chicago.
4 people are dead and another 4 are missing after a small plane crashed into a building. Up to 5 people were also injured. The plane crashed into a flight safety building at an airport in Wichita, Kansas. Investigators say the twin-engine Beechcraft King Air reported trouble right after takeoff, then crashed into the building while attempting to return to the runway. Police say 2 were found dead inside the building. The pilot was also killed. A 4th victim has also been found.
Illinois voters are running out of time to make their choices for the midterm elections, which will take place this upcoming Tuesday. Senator Dick Durbin and his challenger, Tim Oberweis, met last night in Chicago for the final Senate debate. They discussed some major items that have been in the news, including their stances on border control and Ebola. Durbin said he favors sending in medical staff to affected areas, while Oberweis is more on the side of travel bans to contain the disease.
Here in Southern Illinois, the fight for the 12th Congressional District is in the final stretch. Last night, the 3 candidates debated about hot topics like Ebola, fracking, and job creation throughout the state. The 3 met in Marion last night. Democratic incumbent Bill Enyart is against Republican Mike Bost. Also in the running is the Green Party's Paula Bradshaw. One of the topics discussed was contraception being provided to employees.
And I will tell you that I don't believe corporate bosses have any more business in a doctor's examining room than does the federal government.
I believe that corporations that are making up this United States are also individuals, that those individuals have rights, and the corporations have rights.
The corporations have run wild, and they're taking way too many rights away from ordinary American citizens.
Each candidate said they support equal pay for women. Enyart and Bradshaw both support the legalization of marijuana, with Bost opposing. The full debate can be seen right here on WSIU at 7 o'clock tonight.
The trial of a former high school band director is being delayed. Former Carterville High School worker Michael Norrington was scheduled to go on trial next Monday for taking inappropriate photos of a child. He has pleaded not guilty to the charges. Investigators say the incident took place at the Carbondale Goodwill store involving a 14-year-old. A Jackson County judge approved a request to delay the trial from starting next week.
An SIU professor has been killed in a single car crash. Jackson County Sheriff's investigators say 67-year-old Merrick Zari was taken to the hospital after he was removed from the car. He later died. The crash happened when his car ran off of US 51 about a half-mile north of Makander Road yesterday during the noon hour. Memorial contributions can be made in his name to the SIU School of Engineering Foundation. More charges are being added against a former youth pastor to include child pornography. 26-year-old Nicholas Lawrence of Pekin was also indicted in September on charges of predatory criminal sexual assault of a child and aggravated criminal sex abuse. He could face 60 years in prison if he's convicted. Lawrence was the youth pastor at the Pekin Church of God for nearly 2 years until he was fired in June.
Governor Pat Quinn and Republican challenger Bruce Rauner gained additional endorsements from local newspapers around Carbondale. Such newspapers include the Southern Illinoisan and the Quincy Herald Whig. The Herald Whig said it supports Rauner because of its bold, decisive leadership. Rauner has recently received over 12 newspaper endorsements, including 2 Chicago dailies. It got pretty cold last night. It makes me wonder about tonight.
Yeah, it was pretty chilly today too, but luckily Chelsea Cunningham is in to tell us if you need to cover up your plants. Chelsea?
Well, Zach and Jackie, I wouldn't say cover up your plants just yet because we are tracking a few thunderstorms coming from the west. You can see some near Cape Girardeau, and they'll be making its way towards us. They'll be just spotty in nature, so not everybody's going to see the rain, but we do have that going on this evening. Let's take a look at your temperatures right now. 61 in Mount Vernon, 59 in Belleville, 62 in Carbondale, 62 in Cape Girardeau, 63 in Paducah and in Marion. I will have your full forecast for the rest of your weekend and for your Halloween weekend, and to see if temperatures are going to get a little bit cooler after this rain tracks through my full forecast, so stay tuned.
Can't wait for that. Thank you, Chelsea. A big construction project is on the Carbondale Strip and it's taking shape. We'll bring you the latest next.
And an Illinois man is being monitored for Ebola, but he's not in the hospital.
A major construction project on the Carbondale Strip is taking shape. Evening Edition reporter Thomas Emy has the story.
Near the location of Illinois Mill Street, construction is underway for a new building that will be for students. The location is surrounded by small businesses. Are businesses getting affected by the construction going on in downtown Carbondale? Well, we know one business that's not. The Lodge Cafe. Well, they say because of construction, business is going great.
Construction doesn't really bother us much.
Waitress Nicole Cavett says the construction is good for business.
The only difference is we get a lot of customers in overalls and just kind of like dirty from the construction. They tip well, so I'm not complaining.
For River Region Evening Edition, I'm Thomas Ahim.
The building is expected to open to retail establishments and residents next August.
Mediacom Communications is offering $60,000 in scholarship money. The scholarship will be divided among 60 students and is available to applicants living in areas where Mediacom delivers broadband and cable television services. The recipients may use the financial awards to support educational expenses beginning in fall 2015. Mediacom Vice President Tom Curtis says Mediacom makes it a priority to give back to the community, and investing in students is a great way to do that. Applicants are encouraged to apply before February 15th.
Local restaurant customers may want to consider putting their phones away while they're out to eat. Some servers around town have complained about customers being too distracted to order. This causes tables to get back to possible errors in the order and even frustration from the other customers. The owner of Quattro's Pizza in Carbondale, Steve Payne, says that he and his staff would like their customers to pay more attention to their surroundings to make the dining experience more pleasant.
It becomes a little challenging to some of our servers when someone would like to be able to multitask and does not have the capacity to do that. We just hope that people will be mature enough to focus on what they're doing one item at a time.
Payne continued to say that he thinks the art of face-to-face communication is dying. He believes customers and servers would both benefit from more eye contact and less phones at the table.
A Peoria man is charged with shooting 2 people is being held on a $1 million bond. 20-year-old Courtney Blakes is charged with 2 counts of aggravated battery and 1 count of aggravated discharge of a firearm. Police says Blake shot 21-year-old Blade Bello and 19-year-old Julie Hill in the face Monday. Blake appears in court Wednesday and faces up to 30 years in prison on each of the aggravated battery counts if convicted.
A Springfield woman faces charges of drunk driving and killing 2 people. Authorities say Andrea Little had a blood alcohol level more than 3 times the legal limit at the time of the accident. Police say Little was eastbound on Highway 125 when her car crossed the center line and hit another car. 16-year-old Pleasant Plains High School student Danielle Allen was killed, along with the passenger in Little's car. Little's bond was set at $1 million.
A Chicago man is being monitored for Ebola after covering the story in West Africa. The freelance journalist says he has no symptoms, but he believes the state officials are doing the right thing.
Marcus DePaula.
Right now I'm at 98.1.
has been checking his temperature religiously. The 23-year-old freelance journalist took these images of his week in Liberia, covering the Ebola outbreak. His reporting taking him to treatment centers and to where bodies were being collected. But DePaula says he never had direct contact with anyone ill.
So as a reporter, the rule is if you're close enough to need PPE, which is the spacesuits, you're too close and you have to back up. I never got close enough to anybody to need to wear PPE.
But now the Chicago Department of Public Health is monitoring DePaula. 3 times a week, he says nurses will take his temperature at home. On the days they don't come, they'll be in contact by phone. DePaula is allowed to come and go as he pleases, see visitors, and take the train.
And I think that what they're doing is absolutely appropriate.
The monitoring will last 21 days from when he left Africa. He returned to Chicago October 20th. His temperature taken multiple times before leaving Liberia and at connecting airports in Morocco and New York. Last weekend, he was told by New York health officials that Chicago officials would be contacting him. But it wasn't until today, 9 days after coming home, that the CDPH got in touch.
They're doing that now, but I'm at such a low risk that I can't blame them for not doing it immediately.
DePaula will be checking in with health officials until November 9th and plans to stay away from public transits until then.
A Central Illinois community is honoring a hometown veteran. Paul Smith was killed by a roadside bomb in 2009 while serving with the National Guard in Afghanistan. His widow, Kim Smith, approached East Peoria Mayor Dave Mingus with the idea of honoring him with a street sign. On Veterans Day, a street sign will be placed on the street where Paul Smith lived, reading, "In loving memory of SSG Paul Smith." Mingus says the sign will be up for 3 days and it will be taken down and given to the family.
Freezing temperatures are in our forecast. We'll get the details in our 5-day forecast.
And stocks closed up. Get the full coverage on the nightly business report at 5:30. How much space do you need to live comfortably? A few bedrooms, a couple thousand square feet? How about 242 square feet for 2 people? Jordan Lawler and Tobin Ludwig are finding a way to make it work in their tiny New York City apartment. Their table and benches fold out from the wall, and their bed folds down too. They have a really small fridge, but they say they love it, and they want to keep it. Despite the size, it's about the same price as some houses. It was $270,000 when they bought it 3 years ago, but the mortgage and fees work out to about $2,000 a month, which is practically a bargain in Manhattan.
Here are some of the stories making news in the days ahead. The SIU Cross Country Championship is Saturday. Don't forget about daylight saving this Sunday, and we will lose an hour. And Halloween is tomorrow night, so make sure you get out and go trick-or-treating. Carbondale City tries between 5 and 8 p.m. So the weather is going to be cold this weekend?
Yes, it's going to be chilly. So if you're going outside this weekend, definitely bring a jacket, bring a scarf, bring a hat, whatever you need. It's going to be 47 degrees tomorrow with a low of 28. That's below freezing, guys. Then again, the same thing on Saturday, actually. Then we kind of shift into Sunday, we're 52. Monday, we're 62 when that wind starts to go back to the south. And then we'll be a little bit warmer and near average temperatures. And then Tuesday, we do have those isolated storms. So make sure you look out for that.
So are you dressing up for Halloween?
I think so. I might be like a weather girl.
Yep. Maybe definitely have a jacket.
Carry a sun around, maybe a cloud.
Maybe I'll be like a snowman, wrap myself up a little bit for this cold weather that we're going to have.
Yes, and make sure, like I said again, to keep those plants inside because we do have that freeze warning in effect until Sunday evening, and then, you know, we'll be good after that when we go back into Monday. But make sure that if you do have some plants, even pets, don't want pets to be outside. Let's bring them in the house.
Maybe put a jacket on your kids too
tonight,
well, I mean,
right? Of course. For the trick-or-treat. If you're going out trick-or-treating tomorrow, like I said, 5 and 7 and 10 p.m., it's going to be below freezing, and especially with the wind chill.
All right. Thank you, Chelsea. And thank you for joining us tonight. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter at River Region News. I'm Zach Barrett.
And I'm Jacqueline Boatman. For Sean Conway and Chelsea Cunningham and more than 100 students who work on Evening Edition. Good night.